IRS, because this day after the 4th, the tax man adding another day off on the 5th, not because he wants to, because, well, he says he has to. It wasn't all this bad targeting press. It was this sequestration mess. It's true. The tax agency taking a furlough day because of those sequestration cuts. Darla Dawald has a suggestion. Forget taking the day off. Take the rest of the month off. In fact, take the whole year off. Come to think of it, well, stay permanently off. Darla, methinks, and I've heard some of your fine speeches, young lady, you're not a fan of the IRS, so what do you make of this excuse?
Well, it's just, you know, it's more of their trying to appease the Republicans, I think, and the right, and trying to make them all think that you know, they're doing the right thing by taking days off. But like you said, as far as I'm concerned, they need to just let go of them altogether, just abolish them, turn out the lights, lock the door, and send all those people off to another job or another place. And I don't know, maybe they can make some training videos for someone else, you know, that cost a few $1 billion.
You know, a lot of Tea Partiers still stewing over this, and more to the fact when you see a front-page story in the New York Times, all but dismissing the IRS targeting, saying, well, we're going after governments and nefarious groups as well, that it was sort of equalizing this, neutralizing this. What do you make of that? That you've gone from being, you know, was a great empathy for Tea Partiers and conservative groups targeted, if not sympathy, to now just saying, oh, what are you whining about? This was happening to lots of folks.
Well, you know, they've been against the Tea Partiers and the Tea Party movement and conservative movement from the very get-go. And, you know, basically to me what it comes down to is if this were on the other foot, on the other party, for example, if it was George W. Bush who had been caught with or his administration with this kind of tactic against the using the IRS, excuse me, against Tea Party groups, patriot groups, Christian groups, and so forth, then the Nancy Pelosi-led House would have had him impeached right away. So it's just this double standard that's most frustrating. And
well, what if nothing,
you know,
comes of these investigations then, Darla? In other words, we do know for a fact that your group and lots of other groups, they haven't even been contacted by this so-called investigatory team. We do know that the head of the FBI didn't even know the name of the person leading that team. So we now have an investigation close to 2 months old that, unless it's in super dark secret, isn't doing anything.
Well, you know, I do know that the House and the Senate, that they're really good at touting about all of the great investigations that they're leading right now and all these hearings that are going on. And as far as I'm concerned, hearings don't mean anything. You know, it doesn't amount to a hill of beans at actually accomplishing something. So absolutely, we want to see them accomplish something, and we're going to stay on it. And the Tea Party movement and all these groups that have been targeted are definitely going to stay on it. And if we have to go back to D.C. and bring several million the next time to tell them, can you hear us now? We're upset with you, then that's what we're going to do.
When you say that's what you're going to do, I mean, you've expressed that as Tea Parties have had other issues, like going after those who voted for immigration reform and maybe right, promising a Tea Party or, you know, a primary challenge to mainstream or so-called rhino Republicans who have. But you had the wind at your back when you had the sympathy and the attention of these scandals. Less so now. Are you worried?
No, I'm not worried, and I'll tell you why I'm not worried. A lot of people think that the Tea Party is dead. I hear this all the time, or the Tea Party's not doing anything. But the Tea Party movement has evolved. They're no longer just rallying, you know, at your local capital or your local, you know, rallying point in your town. What they've done now is they've evolved to a new level. We're getting people involved at the local level in local politics and precinct committeeman slots where there's real power. And they're involved in campaigns, and a lot of people are actually running in these campaigns and getting involved locally in local politics as well. And that's what it's all about. In order for us to take back this country and get it back to where we feel it needs to be, and one of those things is obviously abolishing the IRS, because the tax code is ridiculous. It's not favorable to businesses. It's not favorable to people.
So you're going to keep at it. What you're telling me, you're going to keep at it.
Well, absolutely.
All right,
and then there's also the other fear. Wait a second, though. 1 second.
Real quick, that commercial's going to come. Are you and I talking or not? Wrap it up.
Okay. The Obamacare side of it. Who wants the IRS running the Obamacare? I know I don't. And especially not if they're going to target.
Fair enough. Darla, thank you very much. Good seeing you.
Thank you.